Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through the ABRSM Theory grades. I've loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets that are available in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. All the information that you need to know that I'll be referring to can be found in these PDF documents. There's also a page which links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and also you can access information about the books that I have available if it is that you're working towards taking this ABRSM exam. I've written a book, How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare in your revision for the exam and also how to best make use of the time when you're sitting in the exam room taking your paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, it's all there for you. If you can give me a like, that'd be great. That'd be really encouraging to me. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll keep updated. There's loads more in store. I'm absolutely loving working through this. I love music theory and I hope that you do too. We're cracking on through the ABRSM Grade 3 Music Theory and Practice workbook. So if you want to turn with me we're on section J, which is page 30, and we're revisiting the topic of intervals, which has been covered in previous grades, but we're now looking at it in a little bit more detail. If you turn in your PDF document, I've just done a little summary of some of the information. Find the page that's covered here. I've tried to sort of shrink down into text all the things that I'm going to be saying over the course of this next video or two for you to revise there. However, you may also want to have handy section F in your PDF because you need to have a thorough knowledge of your scales, your keys, your related keys, major and minor. You do need a flexible working knowledge of these keys for many aspects of the theory paper or just your theory knowledge in general. And so if it is that you're struggling to work this out, I've done a video explaining the formula, the circle of fifths. You can find that link in the cards and also in the description below, and that will explain how to work out this formula, so you can just quickly jot it down on a piece of paper whenever you need it. However, it's here on section F for you for now. And so let's look at this subject of intervals in a little bit more detail. So the actual interval between a note is always the same, where we're counting a second, a third, a fourth and so on, just like in previous grades, and we're dealing with harmonic intervals that come together like a chord or melodic intervals that come one after each other like a melody. But we're now describing it a little bit more minutely by discussing whether it's a major interval or a minor interval. It's perhaps easiest to see how this works out if we start in the key of C. Now the octave and the fourth and the fifth are always called perfect intervals because they are common to both the major and the minor scale. And in each case, they are always called perfect. So they won't change at all. Now, outside of that, we've got to decide which interval is major and which interval is minor. Don't be confused by the fact that sometimes we may be talking about being in a minor key, but some of the intervals may still be major. A minor interval is smaller than a major interval by a semitone. It's been shrunk down. And so from C to D, that is also still part of the major scale. That's a full step in the major scale. C to E, E natural, is part of the major scale. So we would say that's a major third. However, if the E is flattened, that's now a minor third, because if you remember, C minor has B flats, E flats and A flats. And so you can see how that interval has become smaller. F and G are perfect intervals. Now, C to A is a sixth. It's a major sixth because that's part of the major scale pattern. Your key signature of C major has no sharps or flats. But if we shrink that down by a semitone, it's been made a semitone smaller, and C minor has A flats, B flats, E flats, A flats is your key signature. You can double check that on your sheet here to be sure of your key signature. The same happens with the seventh. B natural is part of C major scale, which has no sharps or flats, but B flat is part of C minor scale because C minor has B flats, E flats and A flats. And so as the raised seventh in a minor scale has the natural in it, it's been made larger, and so it becomes a major interval. And again, the octave is perfect. And so that's quite a tricky concept, and it does get tricky as we start thinking about when our key note is a sharp at the bottom. So there's another way of dealing with that. You may find it helpful to just map out a piano keyboard. In fact, I do suggest that you do that if you're finding it difficult to visualise the intervals or the distance between the notes. So just give yourself a quick description, a quick sort of illustration, I should say, describing the piano keyboard, just so you can visualise these intervals. Just give yourself a good octave or so. So you might find that helpful just to picture how we're making intervals from C to E is major, C to E flat is minor. You can see how we've made that a little bit smaller. We've gone a semitone lower there. And so I'll just work through this first row of examples with you, and then perhaps when you're feeling a little bit more confident, you can have a go at the next ones yourself. And then I'll go over them with you. Don't worry, you're only ever writing in pencil. You've got your eraser to hand, and so it doesn't matter if you make a mistake. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. And so we'll just have a go, and very soon you'll get the hang of it. There's lots of examples, so we're going to get plenty of time to go at this. So first of all, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's half of our marks already. So if worst came to the absolute worst, you know you've got half marks whatever happens. However, a fourth is easy to answer because we know a fourth is always perfect. In this case, that will always be the case here in this grade. So let's count this next one. Now E major, so our lowest note is E. So we've got 1, 2, 3, so we're counting a third. Now E major has G sharps in it because of our key signature. This is part of the major scale, and so we know that this is a major third. Okay, let's press on. And so now we're in F minor, so our key note is F. 1, 3, 5, 7. I find it easier just skipping 1, 3, 5, 7, space, 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 space. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to be sure. There's a seventh. Now we've got F to E natural. Now F major has a key signature of B flat, so you can be sure of that by checking here. F major has a key signature of B flats. So E natural is part of the F major scale. F minor has a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats. So if that was an E natural, it would be a minor seventh because that, if that was a flat, that would be part of the minor scale. But because that's been made natural, we've made that interval from E flat to E natural bigger, and it's part of the major scale, which only has B flats, and so we know that's a major seventh. So we're looking at it from lots of different angles. Let's try this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a fourth. We're in A major, but we know that a fourth is perfect. Oops. There we go. So have a go at this next row and see how you get on. Don't worry if you get a bit stuck. We'll work through it together. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this on your own. We'll press on through. So we're in G minor. Our lowest note is G. 1, 3, 5, 7. Oh no, 1, 3, 5, 6, sorry, count that carefully. Now G major has a key signature of F sharps, G minor has a key signature of B flats and E flat, so that E is flattened, it's part of the minor scale, it's been made smaller from E natural in major to E flat in minor, we know that's a minor sixth. Okay, so we're in the key of C minor, which has B flats, E flats, A flats. We've got a 1, 3, 5, 7. We've got a 7th. So we're going from C to B natural. Now C major has no sharps or flats, so B natural will be part of the major scale pattern. B flat would be part of the minor scale, so that would be a minor 7th, but we've raised it and it's now a bigger interval, and that's why it's major. Next one, we've gone from G all the way to G, so we know that's an octave, and we know that an octave is perfect. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit tricky when we're counting an F sharp as our lower note, but let's get the interval first, the number 1, 3, 5, 6. So then F sharp minor has a key signature of 3 sharps. Now it's hard to think what would F sharp major have, and so I find it easier to think, well, let's ignore that sharp for the moment. So F to D would be major, so F major would have D naturals in it because F major's only got B flats. It's a much easier starting point. So let's just look at our keyboard to see this. F to D would be major, but because the F is sharpened, the lower note sharpened makes the interval smaller, and so it's minor. I find that an easier way of visualising the interval because it's an easier starting point to think in the key of F than it is to think in the key of F sharp. So we just kind of come at that from a slightly different viewpoint. Let's press on. So we have a second here, 1, 2. So we've gone from C to D. So although we're in the key of C minor here with this key signature doesn't affect this interval because B flats, E flats, A flats doesn't affect D. C major has C to D as well, and it's a major interval because it's part of the major scale also. And if you look as well, it's the full step. It's not been reduced or made smaller. There we go. So have a go at this next row now, just to finish off this section, and then we'll look at the next page in the next video once you've had time to process this lot here. Now, although your lower note comes second, we always count from this lower note. We're in D minor, and this is the D that we count from. 1, 3, 5, 6. We're in the key of D minor with B flats. However, the B flat has been raised, and so D to B is a major interval. We've raised it from minor to major, and we know that D major has B naturals in it because D major just has F sharps and C sharps, so that will explain that. Okay, we got a 1, 2, we got a second, and although we're in the key here of A minor, which has no sharps or flats, we also know that A to B is part of the major scale because A major has F, C, G sharps, and so B would just be the normal step in that major scale pattern. It's not been made smaller by the minor key signature. Let's count this one. So we're in E flat major, counting from the lowest note even though it comes second. So we've got 1, 3, 5, 6, and E flat major has B flats, E flats, A flats. It's part of the flat major scale, E flat major scale. Nothing has changed this to make it smaller. It's still part of the major scale pattern, and so it's a major interval. Here's another one of those tricky sharp lower notes, and so let's first of all get the number 1, 3, 5, 6. So we know we're counting a 6, so that's half of the job done. Now it's very difficult to think is A sharp part of the C sharp major or C sharp minor. It's a tricky key signature to work with. So let's first of all work as if we're counting from C. So C to A would be major scale. C major has C to A because C major has no sharps or flats, so that's an easy scale to think of. So let's look at our keyboard to visualise it. C to A is major. However, we're going from C sharp to A sharp. So C sharp to A sharp is just a parallel movement, and so it's still major. We've just parallel moved it. So it's much easier to work it out, C to A, and then parallel movement, it's still major. We've just moved it in step both ways. So it's still a major 6th. I find that an easier way to deal with these tricky keys. So B flat major, let's count from this lowest note B flat, 1, 3, 5, 7. B flat major has B flats and E flats. This note is not affected, it's still part of the major scale, and we know that that's a major 7th. I do appreciate that this is a tricky subject, so if you find that really difficult, just read through the information here and also in the PDF document, just sort of digest that a little bit. If you find that really tricky, go over these again and just work through it again. And then we'll look at the next video next time and we'll do a bit further work on this. We'll do a bit more thinking next time. I do hope that's been helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be fab. Subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Obviously, we've got lots more to come. And please do go to sharonbill.com. There's lots there to help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.